As autumn arrives, Europe is buzzing with questions about the coming winter. Will it be mild, or will we see deep freezes and heavy snow? This year, meteorologists are focused on a rare and dramatic event unfolding above the North Pole. The polar vortex, a key driver of winter weather, is showing signs of early weakness and disruption. Normally, these patterns settle in by January or February, but this year, the action is starting before winter even begins. This early signal is making the forecast both challenging and fascinating. A weak polar vortex can unleash Arctic air southward, bringing intense cold and snow to some, while others may see little impact. The stakes are high. Energy costs, travel, and daily life for millions could be affected. The science behind this winter is complex, involving a chain of atmospheric events miles above us. We'll break down what's happening, why it matters, and what it could mean for you, month by month. From the drama of the polar vortex to other climate factors, we'll keep it simple and clear. This isn't just a forecast for skiers, it's a story that touches everyone. The early disruption is strong enough to demand close attention. As we look ahead, we're not just guessing at temperatures. We're tracking a rare atmospheric twist that could make this winter one for the history books. Let's dive into what's unfolding and what it means for Europe's winter ahead. The polar vortex is the main character in this winter's story, a swirling mass of cold air high above the Arctic. Usually, a strong vortex keeps the cold locked up north, but this year it's weakening much earlier than usual. Forecasts from early November show a major disruption, not just a wobble, but a powerful event that could throw the vortex off balance. This kind of disruption, called sudden stratospheric warming, typically happens in midwinter, not late November or early December. High-pressure systems over Canada and Greenland are pushing energy into the stratosphere, deforming the vortex. As the vortex stretches and weakens, cold air can break away and surge south into Europe. This early drama means winter could start with a bang, especially in northern and central Europe. The odds are shifting away from a mild start toward a much colder one. While the exact impacts are still unfolding, this early vortex disruption is the single most important factor we're watching. It's turned an average winter forecast into one filled with high drama and the potential for extreme weather. Europe is bracing for a winter that could be anything but ordinary. The stage is set for a season of surprises. To understand the polar vortex's weakness, we need to talk about sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW. SSW is when temperatures in the stratosphere, 10 to 30 miles above ground, suddenly spike by up to 50 degrees C in just days. This rapid warming is triggered by powerful waves of energy from the lower atmosphere, often caused by strong weather systems. When these waves break in the stratosphere, they release energy that disrupts the polar vortex. The vortex's winds weaken or even reverse, making it unstable and prone to splitting or shifting away from the pole. This is exactly what models are showing for late 2025. While we don't feel this warming directly, its effects trickle down over weeks, shaping our weather. SSW is a powerful forecasting tool, giving us clues about upcoming cold spells. The early SSW this year signals a major atmospheric shift, opening the door for Arctic air to escape south. It's a rare event that can reshape an entire winter. The impact won't be immediate, but it's coming. This is why meteorologists are on high alert. The stage is set for a winter full of surprises. So, what does a weak polar vortex mean for Europe's weather? Think of it as a broken fence around the Arctic. Cold air can now spill south into Europe, North America, and Asia. Northern and Central Europe, like the UK, Scandinavia, and Germany, are most at risk for cold snaps and snow. A weak vortex often triggers a negative North Atlantic oscillation, blocking mild Atlantic air and letting Arctic air surge south. Southern Europe, meanwhile, may stay milder and drier, shielded by high pressure over the Mediterranean. This creates a sharp north-south divide, cold and snowy in the north, milder in the south. When Arctic air meets warmer Atlantic waters, it picks up moisture, perfect for heavy snow, especially with northerly or easterly winds. The result? A classic winter for northern and central Europe, with increased chances for major snow events. The disruption doesn't just mean cold, it means dramatic weather swings. The setup is there for a memorable winter. Europe should brace for a season of sharp contrasts. The polar vortex isn't acting alone. Other climate drivers are shaping Europe's winter. La Niña, with cooler Pacific waters, is energizing the Atlantic jet stream, sometimes fueling stormy conditions. The quasi-biennial oscillation, or QBO, is in an easterly phase, making the vortex even more vulnerable to disruption. Warmer than average North Atlantic and Mediterranean waters add fuel for storms, increasing the risk of heavy snow or rain. Low Arctic sea ice means more heat and moisture released into the atmosphere, promoting high-pressure blocks that push cold air south. These factors all point toward a colder, stormier second half of winter. The interplay between these drivers adds complexity and potential for surprises. When cold Arctic air meets warm seas, storms can intensify, bringing heavy precipitation. For some, that means snow. For others, rain and flooding. The low sea ice is another sign that the atmosphere is primed for dramatic shifts. All these elements are stacking the deck for a winter that could be colder and snowier than usual. Europe's weather is being shaped by a rare combination of forces. The result? A season that's anything but predictable. December 2025 is set to be a month of sharp contrasts, thanks to the early polar vortex disruption. Northern and Central Europe, UK, Scandinavia, Germany, Poland, can expect a wintry start, with early snow and frosty mornings. Southern Europe, like Spain, Italy, and Greece, will likely stay milder and drier, shielded by high pressure. The Alps will see a battle between cold and milder Atlantic air, leading to stormy weather and fluctuating snow lines. High-altitude ski resorts will fare best, while lower slopes may see more rain than snow. Scandinavia is poised for an excellent ski season start, with consistent cold and natural snowfall. December will set the main theme, a divided Europe, with a cold, snowy north and a milder south. The early week vortex is the dominant force, shaping this split. This tale of two winters will define the month and set the stage for the rest of the season. December will be the first act in a winter full of atmospheric drama. January 2026 is a month of transition and uncertainty. The early vortex disruption lingers, but the atmosphere is trying to reorganize. Expect a tug-of-war, Arctic cold pushing south, then milder Atlantic air fighting back. Northern and Central Europe will see highly variable weather, cold snaps, snow, then thaws and rain. High-elevation ski resorts will have the best snow, while lower slopes face rain-snow swings. Southern Europe stays milder, but brief cold intrusions could bring rare snow to places like Italy or the Balkans. January is a dynamic, evolving month, a true winter battleground. The atmosphere is deciding which way the rest of winter will go. February is shaping up as the prime month for classic widespread cold and snow across Europe. The delayed effects of the weak polar vortex and SSW are strongest now, favoring long-lasting cold spells. If a negative North Atlantic oscillation locks in, frigid air from Siberia and the Arctic could sweep deep into Europe. This could bring snow to low elevations, even cities, and create memorable winter scenes. Ski resorts across the Alps, Pyrenees, and Balkans could see frequent powder days and deep snow bases. All climate signals point to February as the best bet for epic ski conditions. There's still uncertainty, but the odds favor a cold, snowy month. February is the culmination of all the winter's atmospheric drama. For winter lovers, this is the month to watch. As winter turns to spring, March 2026 brings change and classic spring skiing cycles. Days grow warmer, snow begins to melt, and slopes soften for relaxed skiing. But late-season cold snaps and powder days are still possible, especially above 2,000 meters. The weakened polar vortex's influence can linger, delivering surprise storms even as the sun grows stronger. March could bring everything from t-shirt weather to blizzards. The main uncertainty is timing. Predicting exactly when and where cold will strike is impossible. This winter is a two-act story, a stormy, milder start, then a colder, snowier second half. The rare early vortex disruption is the headline, loading the dice for a memorable season. Northern and Central Europe are at highest risk for cold and snow, but surprises are possible everywhere. The battle between Arctic cold and Atlantic mildness will define this dynamic winter.